What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Couple of days off, people, and we're back again, good to go. And we'll be talking the latest Arsenal news, people. As you've seen in the headlines, William Saliba, it looks as if he will not be playing at Anfield. Going to Anfield with Rob Holding, geez, we're going to need a heck of a performance and some guidance to get us through that one. But listen, the way Liverpool have been playing, hopefully we can catch them on an off day and maybe we'll get away with it. Maybe we just have to outscore them, you know. But it's interesting how they're feeding out so early in the week that Saliba's going to miss this game. I wonder if it's a little bit of reverse psychology from Arsenal, man, because I don't understand why Arsenal would let the press know as early as Tuesday that Saliba wasn't going to play. Surely he would do mind games and try and make, Klopp wait until the weekend. But we'll see. Big up to everyone in the chat. Hope you are well. And, people asking why were you not on AFTV on Monday. It's the Easter holidays here. And just spending some time with the family. The kids are off school and that. So, yeah, man, daddy duties take priority. I will be back on there next Monday after the Liverpool game. So, yeah, no worries there, people. No worries there. Big up to everyone in the chat. Hope you're well. C-Unit Business. Big up, Rodney. Great to see you, Curtis. Best wishes to you and your family. Arsenal Rodders in Blackpool. Hope you're well. Holding has been all right lately. He has been all right, but all right. Sometimes you got to be better than all right, you know, especially if you're against Salah and you're against, I don't know. Well, I was going to say Nunes, but do you know what? I'm not going to criticise any Liverpool players because if it comes back and bites us on Sunday, I'll look a bit stupid. So let me not say anything about Liverpool. Enjoy the family time. Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. People were messaging me, oh, what's happened? Have you and Robbie fell out? I said, nah, man. Easter holidays, I'll be back there next Monday. Nothing to worry about, people. Getting PTSD from Holding versus the Spuds away last season. The thing I always say, just in a little bit of defence of Rob Holding with his magnificent hairline, is that you look at that game last season against Tottenham when, listen, he wasn't good enough. We know that he got sent off. He let us down. That was a back four with, Cedric and we had no Thomas Partey in front of it. We are a little bit of a stronger team now. You know, Ben White and Zinchenko. You've got Partey and Xhaka are performing properly. I think if we go to Liverpool and play well, I think we can still get away with having Rob Holding in the team as long as he puts in a solid performance. But the problem is if we don't operate properly, then, he can get exposed. If you're Jurgen Klopp, I'm sitting in that Liverpool dressing room and I'm saying target him. Target him. He doesn't move that well. So I'm telling Salah to drift inside and, all those kind of little things that happen. There's no doubt that Liverpool will target Rob Holding. But what we've got to do is just make sure we're solid, we're secure, we hit them on the break. We've seen that Liverpool are not defending well. And hopefully we can score more goals. How could Big C get sacked when he's not employed by that? I know, you know how it goes, people. Oh, listen. This is why we have this channel, people. We want to work for ourselves and build a community and do that, We were upset with Laurie yesterday, did not address anything. Oh, well, glad it. Nah, it's nothing, man. We're all good. We spoke. I'll be on there Monday. And we'll be talking, obviously, after the Liverpool game, people. 11 years without a league win at Anfield. Will that horrendous record be broken? Records are there to be broken. And we've got to go there and perform. If ever there's been a time to go and beat Liverpool, it's right now. It's right now. They're not playing well. Their season is fizzling away. In fact, they play Chelsea tonight. I think if Liverpool if they get beat by Chelsea tonight, I think top four is pretty much out of their reach. So do we want them to get beat tonight and be on more of a downer for the game against Arsenal? Or is it a wounded animal and if they lose, they're going to have a bigger bounce back because it's at Anfield? I don't know. I think we could do with Liverpool dropping points tonight. Whether that's a draw or a defeat. But I think we need to go to Anfield with the mindset that we can beat them. I think if we beat Liverpool this Sunday, we're closer than ever to that title, because I would say that's one of our most difficult remaining games. So we'll have to see. We can do it with the chances we create. You look at that Liverpool back four, I think it can be got at. I still have PTSD at Anfield. The thing is, you know what they're going to do. They're going to be fired up. They're going to make noise. They're going to try and press. I've been to Anfield before, as I said. That first 15 minutes, the stadium is roaring. If you can see past that 15 minutes and keep it 0-0 or even go 1-0 up, then I think they start to, put their head down a little bit. So it's about getting through that 15. Big up Marcel, he's a big Liverpool fan. Big up Curtis, massive game on Sunday. Anfield won't be an easy game no matter how bad we are, so beware. And listen, we've seen it. I've seen Arsenal be the best team in the country, go to Liverpool and get beaten with Neil Mellor up front. Do you know what I'm saying? A lot of you will know about Neil Mellor and that famous last-minute volley. And, they had man like Voronin and David Ngo or whatever his name was. I've seen all kinds of madman playing for Liverpool. And we go Anfield and still somehow they pull out a result. But for me, I think we got to go there. Listen, don't be playing You'll Never Walk Alone in training this week, Mikel. I'm saying it. If anyone from Arsenal listens into this, we don't need to play You'll Never Walk Alone. Play North London Forever, or play some Sizzler. Play some hip-hop. Get some Travis Scott on in the dressing room. We're going there fired up. This is a new dawn. This is a new Arsenal. We're not scared to go to Anfield anymore. We got to go there and perform and get the result. If you want to win titles, you've got to go to these places and beat them. They're 7th or 8th in the league, people. We know Anfield. Listen, Anfield on any given day. Man United found out. 7-0, slapped all over the place. It was brutal. But we need to go there and perform, man. I'm sick of us going up there and acting all timid. I don't care how noisy it is up there. Cinema Pongola and them, man. You know what I mean? With the long plats. We've gone up there and all kinds of madmen are playing up front for them. So, no, we need to go up there and, listen, we're top of the league. Chest out, shoulders back. You're going to have a problem today. We've got a lot of movement. Yeah, maybe a couple suspensions tonight. A little Van Dijk red card tonight. Would be all right. 3-match ban. Although the way he played the other day, he was like Mikel Silvestre. But yeah, you know how it goes. It's different this season, Big C. We're the ones they're scared of. I hope so. Let's hope so. Klopp needs to play North London Forever. We've flipped it on him. Eros said Mob Deep needs to be playing Curtis. Tell him, hey, big up yourself, Eros, man. Put some Mob Deep on, man. Some Quiet Storm. Let them know we're coming up north. It's serious. Arsenal will beat them 2-0. Play some Bounty Killer, man. Y'all come on, some serious music. Title attitude. It happened in 89. Let's do it again. Right, let's get into the show. I've waffled on for the first 5 minutes, but I just thought I'd reintroduce myself, as Jay-Z says on the track, people. Obviously, I haven't been on since the Leeds game. I'm not going to do the player ratings and that, because the game is... The game was like 3 days ago now. I think it's pretty boring for me to talk about it for too long. But just quickly going to go over it. This man in the picture here with the smile on his face, Gabriel Jesus, for me, that was the biggest positive of this game, because we've played really well in recent games without him. But I still think to win this title, he needs to be a major part of what happens, because I believe he's the leader of this attack. I think that Martinelli plays better when he's in the team. I just think we're a totally different attack when Gabriel Jesus is playing well. People have to remember he'd been 8 games without scoring prior to that injury. He would have felt pressure coming into this game. You're playing a relegation-threatened team. You're at home. That front three's been playing well without you. He needed a goal. That penalty was a pressure penalty. We've seen Saka. Saka hasn't missed a penalty for Arsenal since... obviously what happened with England. He's put every penalty away. So Jesus, it was like, bro, you can't miss this penalty. You need to score. Easy as you like, down the middle. The second goal that he scored, what I loved so much about it is, we always have this thing with Jesus that we say, bro, don't start acting like Lacazette Part 2. We don't need you running all over the pitch doing everyone's job. When that ball's getting crossed in the area, get in the box. And it was a 6-yard tap-in. It's not a goal that you're going to be like, oh, wow, goal of the month. But they're the goals that I want to see him scoring. 6 yards out, balls crossed in, tapping. I remember coach used to say to me, as a striker, you should try and get 10 tap-ins a season. That's your bread and butter. That's your, and then you score a few penalties, a couple belters, and there's your 20 goals. You got to live off them tappings, you know. And I was delighted to see him. I think he was a little bit disappointed when he got taken off, but obviously there would have been an agreement before the game that probably he only played 60 minutes. So I thought he was fantastic. I would give him man of the match just because Strikers Union. I'm biased and I'm a big fan of him. But I think Benny Blanco deserves a massive shout out for this game because as a right back, he probably doesn't get the credit that he deserves for what he's done this season. But he has been absolutely fantastic for Arsenal this year. When we paid 50 million for Ben White at centre-back, I was like, I think we've been bumped by Brighton. He's actually even better at right-back than he was at centre-back for us. He's been superb. It doesn't matter that he's not in the England squad. I don't even mind that. We know that it's personal with him and Southgate. Apparently had a massive argument with the assistant manager. It is what it is. He has been just the most underrated player this season for Arsenal. He's been so consistent. Every time we play against a certain team, I'm like, maybe this is the day that a top left winger really deals with him. I think Rashford gave him a few problems in the home game, but apart from that, I don't really remember a game where a left winger's dealt with him. Son, Zaha, Grealish, all of them, he's pretty much dealt with all of them. And he probably won't get Player of the Year just because of the position he plays and stuff like that. But I think that he's been absolutely brilliant this season. And like I said, at 50 million, I thought Brighton had bumped us. And I think right now, we're definitely seeing value for money in terms of his performances. I thought Ramsdale made some critical saves in goal. Fair play to him. Granit Xhaka with another goal. Him and Partey were solid. And Trossard, Bossard, another assist. And Martinelli got an assist as well. So all in all, fantastic performance. Arsenal under-18s are in the Cup semi-final tonight, apparently. Big up Ash. Is that at the Emirates or is that at Boreham Wood? That'll be a good atmosphere, that. The whole club's doing well at the moment. Under-18 semi-final. The women are in the Champions League semi-final. We're top of the league. The club is blossoming right now. I can't lie. But listen, this performance in general was brilliant. It was brilliant. 4-1. I thought the first 25 minutes were a little bit slow in possession. But as soon as we got the first goal, we were dominant. If I have one little thing to moan about, I don't think we should have conceded. I think it was a soft goal to concede. But it is what it is. We're a very attacking team, and you know, we can deal with that. We'd have all took 4-1 before kickoff. Couple of super chats. Eminem, not afraid settings. Come on, man, yo, it's serious. We ain't messing about. 8 Mile settings. Big up Why Always Me. Big up Black. They need to play your tune, Pep versus Arteta. Listen, it's beef. I don't care how good Pep was to Arteta. I don't care how much you taught him, how many tactics. It's war, people. It's war when we come for them this season. I went to the women's quarter-final. Capacity was 20,000. Brilliant attendance. Definitely growing women's football. Great to see. Paul Tin is the ref. Listen, all the refs in the Prem are pretty much at the same level. I don't even get too caught up in the refs nowadays. One thing again that was interesting about this game is Smith Rowe. I mean, he did come on, but I don't know. I don't understand really what's happening with Smith Rowe at the moment. It's almost as if they bring him on for like the last few minutes, but it's like he's not fit. Because I just think Smith Rowe, this guy's on like 100 grand a week. He's got the number 10 shirt. He's supposed to have been back for about 2 months, and he's just hardly kicks a ball for us. I really wonder if last season I felt like even when Tomiyasu came back, he wasn't fit. He wasn't properly fit. It was almost as if they were just having him on the bench to get him to the summer, and then they were going to get him fully fit in pre-season. It kind of feels like that with Smith Rowe. I hope it is just that. I hope it's not a case of Mikel not liking how he's acting or the injuries or whatever. People saying ESR's only there for the paparazzi and the song is there for the Saka and Smith Rowe vibes. But hopefully we get to see him. But I think like Moet says, I don't think he's going to play that much until next season. I think he's probably 70-80% fit. Obviously, we heard stories before that, he wasn't living very well in terms of apparently he moved out and apparently he can't cook and he was eating a lot of junk food. And then we heard that Arsenal apparently helped him hire a chef and he was eating better food and stuff. But this injury seems to have really hurt him. But let's hope we get him back this season or at least next season. Marcel said, I can't stand the sight of Trossard. I hope he doesn't start. He's already bagged a hat-trick against us this season at Anfield. You know what? It's a good one. And this was going to be this will be my first poll of the day. This is the one we're throwing out there. Obviously, if you don't agree with this, just comment on it rather than voting on it. We go to Anfield this week. We've got a big decision to make. Well, Mikel Arteta's got a big decision to make, but we're going to discuss it here. What do we do with this front three this Sunday? Because realistically, Saka's going to be back from that cold. He will play on the right. I think Gabriel Jesus has to start through the middle. Because, look, that's what he was signed for. He's the big man. He's won titles before. He's the leader of the attack. He scored 2 goals and he's fit now. Who starts on that left wing at Anfield? Now, I'll give you a bit of context. Some of you will already have your opinion anyway, but just to add a little bit of balance to it. There's 2 sides to this story, in my opinion. Number one, you've got Trossard, who scored a hat-trick at Anfield earlier in the season. So from that point of view, you would look at it and go, well, this guy scored a hat-trick there. He should play. I also think Trossard keeps possession better than Martinelli. And one thing at Anfield, you don't want to give possession away cheaply. Then the other side of it is that Martinelli has ripped apart Trent Alexander-Arnold the last couple of times that he's played against him. He's also got 6 goals in his last 7 games, but maybe is a little bit more wasteful in possession. So who do you go for out of those 2? Do you go for Trossard because of the hat-trick? Do you go for Martinelli maybe because of the pace? I'm going to be honest, I'm leaning more towards Trossard. I'm leaning more. I mean, Momo says go with Martinelli, Trossard, Saka. He wouldn't play Jesus. I personally think Jesus has to start through the middle. I would probably go Trossard purely because, one, I think he keeps the ball better. And like MO7 saying, I think Martinelli would be a very good impact sub to come off the bench against tired legs. If you're Trent and you've had 60, 70 minutes against Trossard, the last thing you want to see is Martinelli coming on for 25 minutes. So it's a tough one. I think whoever he picks, it works. If it's Martinelli, get at him, use your pace. Trent's got no confidence at the moment. Rip him apart. If you go Trossard, you keep the ball better. Our top scorer is Martinelli. Stop disrespect. It's not disrespect. It's not disrespect. It's called having options. We've got great options now. You could say it's disrespectful to Trossard. He's got 7 assists since he's came in. He's going to have a decision to make, unless he says that Gabriel Jesus is not fully fit yet, and maybe he will play Trossard through the middle. But I think he will. Maybe he'll go Martinelli. I'm just thinking, you've given Martinelli 180 grand a week. He's top scorer. He probably goes with Martinelli, actually. In my opinion, I think he will go Martinelli. I think I would have gone Trossard. Either one is not a problem, though. Either one is not a problem. King said Trossard down the middle, bring on Jesus. I just think you've got to go with Jesus now. I think his confidence is high. He's just scored 2. I'd keep him in. Nimbo said that's Trench dreadlocks. Trench dreads will be gone. I mean, yeah, last time we played him, he ripped him apart anyway. Hope Gomez starts at right back. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying that. That Trent needs a break. He needs to come out of the team. I actually want Trent to start. I think Gomez is actually quite good at right back. I would rather see Trent playing. I think his confidence is shot. I think his confidence is absolutely shot to pieces. I hope Trent starts that game. It is a great headache to have. And this is what I'm saying. Sometimes people take it as, oh, you've picked that one, so you're disrespecting that one. They're both brilliant players. Whoever we pick, it's a great problem because we've had times where our front line's been absolutely down to the bare bones. So, listen, it's a great problem to have. I'll leave that vote up for you. Salman said, drop Odegaard and play all 4, Xhaka and Partey in behind. No, I can't do that. I get your point because that front 4 would be brutal, but you've got to win the midfield battle. And I think Odegaard is instrumental in terms of creativity. I think that would be too gun-ho. It's very difficult to go to Anfield and just go all-out attack. They have battered teams there. So I don't think you can do that. Exactly the kind of depth we need for the Champions League, yeah, and we need a few more to make it work, Anyway, we'll look ahead to that later in the week a little bit more. Let's get into a few stories of the show. I'll leave that poll up and we'll end that in a few minutes. Let's start with probably, I would say, the worst news. Now, I'm hoping that somehow, some way, this is not gospel truth. It's only really in newspapers. But as you've seen, headline of the show, William Saliba is set to miss the game at Anfield this weekend. Saliba is struggling with the back injury and hasn't been able to train this week. It was believed, I've read the article. Now, one thing that gives me a little bit of hope. The story is coming out of the Sun newspaper. You know my thoughts on the Sun newspaper, and I'm sure a number of you have similar opinions about this newspaper. However, this guy writing the article is not a bad reporter, but still, the reason I question it still, though, is, as I said at the start of the show, I don't understand why Arsenal would leak this news to the press on a Tuesday morning when we don't play until Sunday afternoon. Why would you give Jurgen Klopp that kind of information? Either it's dark arts and we're trying to make him think, yes, Rob Holding's playing, and then on Sunday, Saliba turns up, or they're just making up just to create a headline. So I'm not saying I didn't create this headline to panic anyone. It's there. It's all over social media. And, it's all over the newspapers. I'm just sort of clinging to the hope that they're just playing a guessing game here to create a headline and that he could be available. What was kind of worrying was that Arteta was saying in the press conference is that, we'll get him back before the end of the season. There was no real indication that, we might have him for next week. It was like, no, he'll play again this season. This must have been a really bad injury, by the way. They were saying if he had an operation on this, he would have been out for the whole season. But they've decided to delay the operation until the summer to give him more time to recover. I mean, listen, can we go to Anfield and beat Liverpool with Rob Holding? I think we can, because I think if you play well enough as a collective, you can get away sometimes with one player that's not quite at the same level. We've got a good back four, we've got a good midfield, we've got a good goalkeeper. Hopefully we could protect him. However, let's be honest, it's still a massive downgrade. And if I'm Jurgen Klopp, I'm targeting him. It's as simple as that. I remember Raheem Sterling winning a header above him at the Emirates, and he's not the best on the turn either. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. Do you play Kiwior? Quite simply, this guy cost £20 million. He played in the World Cup for Poland. I would expect him to be better than Rob Holding. It just seems as if the manager's thinking, I don't want to throw him straight into a Premier League game. So what would you do there? In fact, we'll make that the second poll. Let me end this first poll. 56% of you have gone with Martinelli, and 44% of you have gone with Trossard. So fair enough. Martinelli gets the nod from you there. Dio said Martinelli, Bossard and Saka for me, so you'd leave Jesus out. I love Jesus, however. The initial front three have been unreal since January. Big up Big C every time. Big up Dio. What would you do at the back? If Saliba's out, who do you play centre-back? Because you do remember that Kieran Tierney has played centre-back for Scotland. If Saliba is out, who plays centre-back with Gabriel? So really, you could go Kiwior, Tierney or Holding. He's going to pick Holding. There's no doubt about it. Unless you changed formation completely, but I don't see him doing that. You could even play Ben White at centre-back, which would be ideal with him being a centre-back. But then who do you play at right-back? That's the problem. We don't have a right-back. So that's the frustrating thing about it, is that we should just be dropping Ben White there. But we can't, because obviously Cedric and Ainsley are out on loan. Holdinho, he's going to play. Holdini and asked Partey to stick close to him. Yeah, that's probably what we got to do, protect him. Tierney, not the time to be testing Kiwior. He needs pre-season to settle in. Only 9 games to go. Yeah, and that's the... I think he would have got game time if we was in the Europa League. I don't see him getting game time in the Premier League, unfortunately. Trust Holding? We've got to. We have to. And listen, one thing I'll say about Holding, I remember the FA Cup final all them years ago. Diego Costa, prime Diego Costa. And I know he scored in that game, but we've seen Holding have good performances. So we've got to hope he can perform. We have to. Tell Partey to sit deep. Anthony said we have no real option with Saliba and Tommy out. Has to be Holding and Gabriel. Not even worth a poll. Tierney can't play centre-back in a back four. Can't trust Kiwior at Anfield. Kieran Tierney would do a job at right-back, says Con. Could you play Tierney at right-back? Play Ben White at centre-back? I'd like to think so, but I just can't see him doing it. It would be interesting. Holding has never played with a settled back four on midfield. I'm not saying he's the guy, but he definitely deserves the benefit of the doubt. And that's what I'm clinging to. That's 100% what I'm clinging to. Holding has played for Arsenal in much worse and much kind of more, unbalanced central defensive pairings. And I think you've got Gabriel next to you now, who's a leader, who's in great form. You've then got Ben White next to you, give you that protection. You get Partey to just sit in front and you protect him. You don't push up to the halfway line and give him space in behind to run. So, yeah, I totally agree with you. I think we got to go Rob Holding, and we've just got to back him and hope that he puts in a good performance. And listen, if we score goals, we may not have to rely on Holding having to defend for his life. We've been to Anfield many times, and it's been survival. We need to go there and actually... apologies, Sky came on there. We need to go there and actually perform and play on the front foot. So... yeah, listen, we'll be all right. We'll be all right, like you say. I'm praying. If Holding's here can come back from where it came back from, I'm sure he can put in a decent performance for us. Emmanuel said, Big C, is Kiwior a left centre-back and the manager ain't going to do it? I was saying this before. It's interesting, isn't it? When you've got 2 right-footed centre-backs, nobody says, oh, you can't play 2 right-footers. But when it's 2 left-footers, it feels like, nah, you can't play 2 left-footed centre-backs. There's no balance. One of them can't go to the right. It is interesting, that. But, yeah, listen, the poll's there just for vibes, to be honest. Like Smith Rowe on the Arsenal bench. He's going to play Rob Holding, and he's going to go with him. We've got to protect him. And listen, I think he can perform for 90 minutes. I think we can get away with it. But big up Emmanuel with that super chat. Harley Khan said, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Has to be Holding. Question should be asked of Kiwior. He's not up to speed yet. Right signing. It's interesting that, innit, with Kiwior. Yeah. I always think January signings should be instant impact signings, if possible. Now, if we needed a centre-back, but he doesn't trust Kiwior, then should we have gone for somebody else? I suppose only time will tell. That's all I can say. Maybe next season he's a brilliant centre-back. But this year, I don't think he's hardly going to kick a ball. Omid said, Big C is a Madrid fan. I can only see this going one way. That's Arsenal 3-1. We cause them a lot of trouble, and Arsenal have faster players in attack. Partey just needs to clip a ball in behind. Oh, that's interesting. I like that. Madrid fan. I mean, Vinicius is very quick. But yeah, our front three as a collective is very fast, especially if it's Martinelli, Saka and Jesus. Wow. Apparently, we got some big breaking news. Assassin has just put that in the chat. It's not to do with Arsenal, but big football news. I'm just gonna double check that myself, if that's true. And is it true? I'm not seeing it. There are rumours apparently that Messi is set to leave this summer. Messi is going to leave PSG this summer, according to some reports. Big football news, not really Arsenal. Get him to the carpet, people. Get him to the carpet. ESPN have said Lionel Messi is likely to leave PSG this summer after failing to extend his contract. He is not prepared to reduce his wages, and he's also upset that the PSG fans have booed him in the last few matches. A return to Barcelona is the preferred option. Interesting. Looks like Messi is on his way back to Barcelona, people. One last dance at Barca. Get him to the carpet. We'll take him as a squad player. PSG, man, them fans, they've been spoiled. You know what I mean? You're booing Messi, man. You know, you can go back to the old days when people didn't really know too much about PSG. You know them ones. But anyway, that's their problem, I suppose. Messi, breaking news, people, is set to leave PSG this summer. We've played Tomiyasu at left back. We can play Kieran Tierney at right back. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not impossible. You could potentially do it. I just don't think you will. I'll end the poll. 79% of you saying Rob Holding. It's going to be Rob Holding. Some 14% said Tierney. And 8% said Kiwior. Kiwior is not going to play, is he? The Kiwi is not right, people. Messi is finished, to be honest. 60 mil a year, waste of money for a non-oil club. I mean, bro, he won the World Cup, didn't he, about 6 months ago? I can't recall, 4 months ago. I just think he's got to be in a team that is absolutely dominant. And that PSG, they don't have the team for it. They don't have the midfield to carry Messi. So your whole team has got to be built around him. Because defensively, he's not going to defend. And you saw that with Argentina. They left him to do his own thing. When they lost the ball, he was chilling. Facts, 100%. His PSG contract ends in the summer. The fans in Paris have ridiculously turned on him. He's never been fully settled in France. I hope he returns. He'll go Barca. Him and Xavi are really good friends. He's the manager. Well, that's interesting. Jake saying, would they go for Ronaldo to replace Messi? I don't think so. I think they'll go away from that sort of buying the old big names who haven't really got the legs to run anymore. I think they need to rebuild that. Yeah, I can't believe man are calling Messi finished. Man won the World Cup, one player of the tournament. But anyway, let's move on. Right, let's talk a couple of more Arsenal stories. Let's talk about a player that we saw at the World Cup, people, and Arsenal being linked with AC Milan defender Theo Hernandez. You probably remember him from the game against England because Saka ripped him apart in that game. He is actually a good left back. I can't lie. He's the French left back. I think he gave away the penalty, actually. I think he rugby tackled Mason Mount. He was pretty poor against England. Saka was really troubling him in that game. This is an interesting one. Listen, I think he's a very good left back, right? I would take him. Now, the story today is saying, according to reports in Italy, if Kieran Tierney is sold, Arsenal want to replace him with Theo Hernandez. Now, I wouldn't get too carried away with this story, and I'll tell you the reason why. Number one, it's believed that AC Milan want up to 60 million euros, which is about 52 million pounds, to even consider letting Theo Hernandez go. On top of that, he starts every week for AC Milan. Is he going to come to Arsenal and have to battle to play at left back with Zinchenko? What happens to Zinchenko? Is it worth spending 52 million pound on a left back? Anthony said Theo Hernandez is arguably top 3 left backs in Europe, along with Alphonso Davies and Cancelo. That's interesting. I like Nuno Mendes at PSG. Robertson would have been up there. He's kind of fell off. There definitely is a lack of top quality left backs in world football. But I don't see this deal happening. I think if he came to Arsenal, he would want to play left back. He would want guarantees that he's starting. People saying there, could Zinchenko move into midfield? Possibly. Do you think Zinchenko would be a better midfielder than maybe Granit Xhaka in that role? He plays that role for Ukraine. I would definitely take him, Theo Hernandez. Let me just say this. If we got Theo Hernandez this summer, I'm taking it. There's 2 issues. Number one, Arsenal have bigger priorities than left back. If we spent £52 million on a left back, are you going to go and get... For me, I think we need 2 centre mids. I think we need a right back. I think we need a right winger. Are you going to address all of those positions and buy a left back for 50 odd million pound? That would be my concern. If we had a different owner I'd say go and pay the 50 million and get him. But with these owners, I feel like they give with one hand and they take with the other. So if they spent 50 odd million on a left back, they'd go, well, you can't buy a right winger or something stupid like that. So 60 million euros, 52 million pound. Would we be better off buying Rafa Leao from AC Milan? Although he is actually more of a left winger, we probably need more of a right winger. Man is saying he looks like Billy Wingrove. Big up Billy, man. Big up Billy. Good friend of him, man. Big him up. Yeah, with the blonde hair and that. Curtis, my guy, Rafa Leao, everything done after that. A lot of people have been saying that. If we get Leao, I like Leao. I'm a big fan of him. I see AC Milan battered Napoli 4-0 the other day. Napoli had no Osimhen and they looked like half the team without him up front. So maybe Milan will have a chance against them in the Champions League. Some of you saying Leao is overrated, although a lot of you saying you want him at the clubs. That's interesting. Tonali we were linked with. He signed a new long-term deal. Theo Hernandez, 3 years left on his contract. £82,000 a week he's on, which is not huge money in the Premier League. We could easily upgrade that. Listen, like I said, if we signed Theo Hernandez, I think he'd be a very good signing. However, my concern is spending £52 million on a left back. I would sign the priority positions before we went and signed a left back for that much money. So, yeah, we'll have to see on that one. But I think a lot of you would take him. He's definitely a very good player. Just a little bit more breaking news, not Arsenal related again. But Mitrovic has been banned for 7 games by the FA for that push that he gave the referee in the FA Cup game. 7-match ban for Mitrovic, which near enough ends his season. I think Fulham have only got like 9 games left. So that's a huge blow for them. Still frustrating that, you know, Bruno Fernandes pushed the ref or pushed the linesman and didn't get anything. Now, the story that they gave on that was because the linesman basically put his hand on Bruno Fernandes' shoulder, they said that him pushing the linesman back was sort of a reaction to what he'd done to him first. It's nonsense, I know. There ain't a lot of common sense in football. But Mitrovic, pretty much season over. Which is frustrating because I think Fulham actually have still got to play Man City. And obviously as an Arsenal fan, we would have been hoping that Fulham play them at home on the 30th of April. Mitrovic is going to be banned. You can't see them doing much without him up front. So, yeah, that's a little bit frustrating. 7-match ban. Is that 7 plus the 3? I'm not sure. No, it just says Mitrovic is banned for the next 7 games. And fined £75,000. And he's missed 1 game already. So it will actually have been an 8-match ban. So, yeah, crazy. Absolutely crazy. Caicedo is the perfect replacement for Partey. Retaliation used to be a red. Exactly. It doesn't matter if the linesman put his hand on him. But anyway, let's move on. Theo Hernandez, I would take him, but bigger priorities would be what I would say, people. Couple more stories to get into before we start to round up. And we'll have a look at the Premier League table and look ahead at fixtures and things like that. Interesting that a couple managers have been sacked. I didn't even speak about that. Obviously, Brendan Rodgers and Graham Potter got sacked. I didn't want Graham Potter to get sacked. I've personally, I don't know about anybody else in the chat, but I've quite enjoyed Graham Potter's time at Chelsea. I call him Harry Potter because you've got to be a magician to spend 500 million and make it disappear, which is what he's done at Chelsea. He spent 500 million and took them to the bottom half of the table. Got Mudryk playing like Justin Bieber. And yeah, personally, I'm very sad to see Graham Potter go. I've quite enjoyed his time at Chelsea. So Graham Potter, all the best. I think you've been a magnificent manager at Chelsea, and I've enjoyed pretty much every game there, to be honest. So best of luck to Graham Potter in the future. Yeah, I would have liked Graham Potter to have stayed there as well, because we got to play them, haven't we, as well? But it'll be interesting how they play tonight with, I think their assistant manager is taking the mid-table Classico tonight of Chelsea against Liverpool. It's interesting that he's turned down the Leicester job apparently as well. He was offered it 2 days afterwards. He said, listen, £21 million pay up. I'm moving on. No Cavalier. Yeah, I didn't have that hat today. I had the Yankees hat on today. Just grabbed that one last minute, you know. A draw at Anfield. A draw at Anfield and the title is in City's hands. It's a must-win. Well, I think we need to win the Liverpool game. Beat Liverpool, draw at City, and I think we win it. But that's easier said than done. To be honest, it's definitely easier said than done. The El Midico, big up Broads. The El Midico, the mid-table clash, man, for who can get in the Conference League. And did anybody see Man Like Harold last night, by the way? I mean, listen, go and watch Darren Farley on YouTube, the clip he's done of Harry Kane. I mean, Harry Kane, little tap in the face from Decore after he gives Damari Gray a kick. And Kane's, you know, on the floor holding his face. Oh, no, he punched me in the face. You know, 2 minutes later, he's up taking a penalty. Nothing wrong with him. Karma came back and bit him, though. Michael Keane slaps one in the top corner last minute. Beautiful scenes. Thank you very much, Everton. Well done to man like Sean Dyche. Didn't even have a striker last night. And still got a draw. Listen, I know it is a red. Listen, the game is the game. That's how football is nowadays. You get a tap in the face, it's happened. Well, this guy's the England captain, the leader of the country. And what annoyed me was people like Gary Neville, who, you know, Mr. Say It As It Is, didn't want to criticise Harry Kane because he used to be his assistant manager. So he's defending him. But I like the way Carragher, you know, said it as it was. You know, you're the England captain, you're the leader of the nation, football-wise. And you're on the floor like somebody, you know, like Joshua's just jabbed you on the nose. I don't know. I hope they don't get top four. Decore definitely went into road mode for like 2 seconds. He couldn't get out of it. And then X had a meltdown, man. Yeah, exactly. But it is the English tax. You know, if a foreign player did that, I'm saying it as it is. They go, look at this cheat rolling around. Get up. It's ruining the English game. Harry Kane does it. They don't want to speak. If I speak, I'm in big trouble, you know. I'm suspended at least 6 months, so let's not get into that. George, thank you for the super chat. City away to Brighton and Brentford is perhaps as hard as Liverpool Newcastle. It will be a thrilling running. Do you know the negative thing about that? Ivan Toney's hearing is this month, so he could be banned for the game against Man City. And Man City play Brentford last game of the season. So Ivan Toney is probably going to get banned and he'll miss that game. So that makes that a bit easier. And then Fulham won't have Mitrovic. So that's a shame from that point of view, George. But still be tough games. West Ham are preparing for life after Declan Rice. Arsenal are positioning themselves for Rice and are ready to lead the bidding. At last, Kane has been found out. When Harry Kane does it, it's called being smart. Exactly. You know how that goes. Anyway, couple more stories and then we're done, people. Let's talk about man like Nuno Tavares. Who let the dogs out? Who? The dog man's at it again, people. He's not behaving. He is like a wild animal. And he's performing like it as well. Arsenal loanee Nuno Tavares was kicked out of a training session by Marseille manager Igor Tudor last week as the player was not giving the commitment and was not making no effort. Jeez, man. What's going off, Nuno, bro? Nuno really wants to come back to London, innit? I told you, Battersea Dogs Home, Walthamstow Tracks. He said, I want to be with my dogs, man. Oh. Shout out DMX, man. One of the best rappers ever. Nuno wants to be with the dogs. He said, nah, man, I don't want to be in Marseille. Man's just strolling around training. He said, listen, get me back to the carpet, man. I don't want to be here. Man said he's chewed up all the footballs. Now, I'm done. He's playing fetch. They're playing fetch. They're just throwing balls. He's just, get it, boy. Go on, Nuno. Get after it. Nuno, they're playing fetch in Marseille training. I'm sure Alexis Sanchez got dogs as well, hasn't he? Yeah, it's all mad. But anyway, Marseille don't want nothing to do with him, so expect to see Nuno Tavares back in pre-season training at Arsenal because they are definitely not buying him. He started the season really good, but it's all gone downhill. This dog don't want to behave himself. I think he's going to be difficult for us to get rid of. He's just one of them players. He's biting up all the shoes. He's weeing in the changing room. It's all mad. We ain't going to be able to get rid of this guy, are we? We're just not. Gino said Trossard to start, Martinelli comes off the bench. Yeah, that was my theory. But as I said, I think whoever we pick, Trossard, Martinelli, it's a win-win. They're just different kind of options. So, yeah, Nuno is very much on his way back to the Emirates this summer now. When you look at some of the loans, I'm going to do a couple of transfer shows. A lot of people in the comments were saying do a sell or keep. And I'm also going to do one regarding our loan players because we got so many loan players. And I don't know how we're going to be able to get rid of some of these. Sambi is not doing anything amazing at Palace. Vieira took him on loan. So maybe, will they want him or not? Nuno, we know from this, he's not getting bought by Marseille. It's going to be crazy. We're going to have loads of players coming back from loan. And can Edu get rid of these players? You know, a lot of the time, he struggles to get money for anyone he tries to get rid of. So, yeah, Nuno Tavares kicked out of a training session. And he's definitely on his way. But I don't know if you can hear that. There's actually a dog barking outside now. So maybe Nuno's barking outside, people. But yeah, he's definitely on his way back to Arsenal, I think, people. So yeah, make sure you follow me on TikTok, people. Big up everyone that's been following. The numbers are growing on there. It's just Curtis Shaw TV on there. Man said he's been he's been trying to get Alexis Sanchez dogs off him. So Alexis said he's got to go, man. He's got to go. Send Nuno to Wolves. They've got a good Portuguese connection. Lil Bow Wow settings, man. He's like Dr. Doolittle, man. He talks to the dogs. Emmanuel said, Big C, as Saka has officially signed his new contract. There's no release clause. Listen, I always say, bro, until the contract's announced, we can't say it's certain. Everything that we've heard, everything that's being said, people are saying the deal is done. Like, it's done. He's probably even signed it. But, you know, it is what it is. We need to see it announced. Are they saving it for an emergency? You know, Arsenal, they tend to save those things for emergencies. Like, if something goes wrong, then they'll announce a contract, you know. But let's hope that's not the case anyway. It's interesting. On the 5 show this week, shout out to Joel Bayer, man, doing great work on there. They had Jacob Murphy on there from Newcastle. And he said that Arsenal are the hardest team that he's faced this season, even better than Manchester City. He said, as a team, Arsenal are the best. They're technically superior to a lot of teams. Tactically, it's hard to get anywhere near them. It's hard to lock them down in their shape. He said they are quicker than the Manchester City team on the ball and off the ball. So, you know, it's not a big deal. It's not like Jacob Murphy is somebody, you know, who's gospel truth. But it's nice to get a bit of an understanding from players as to what is it like to play against this Arsenal team. And interesting that he says that we're quicker than Manchester City. So, yeah, man. Right, people, we're going to round up short and sweet. Let's get Cruz on here. What are you saying, bro?
Good.
You enjoying the holidays?
Yeah.
Better
than being at school.
All right, we'll talk about that. If the teacher's watching, they won't like that, will they?
Don't care.
All right, don't worry about it. You have to be homeschooled then. But talk to me. Arsenal, Liverpool at the weekend. If Saliba's out, does it change your prediction? You said 2-1.
Yeah, I said.
Did you say 2-1 or 3-1?
I think I said 2-1.
2-1.
Saliba's out. I think we concede another goal. I think we win 3-2 then.
3-2.
Yeah.
3-2. We'll still take that.
Yeah.
I think we're going to win the title. Putting the pressure on you.
It's hard. Like, it depends on how many games we win. I think we win it.
Armpits or not?
Armpits.
Armpits, yeah, all right, armpits. We'll be at the parade anyway if it happens. All the best, bro. See. Right, people, I'm going to round up there anyway. It was a bit shorter today, the show, but yeah, we basically ran out of news, so I'm not going to waffle on too much. Big up to everyone for tuning in today. I will be back on the rest of the week now. As I said, it's half term here, so, you know, daddy duties and all that, but I'll be on the rest of the week. And obviously, we'll be looking ahead to the Liverpool game at the weekend. And that kit, by the way, that Arsenal home kit with the gold on it, I think that is pretty much going to be the kit that we are bringing out. I've seen a thing saying that Arsenal are going to wear that kit for the last game of the season. So imagine we win the title in the new red and gold kit, man, against Wolves. That'll be legendary, man. But listen, big up to everyone for tuning in today. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll be back on tomorrow, probably 2 p.m, people. So take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bless.